Well, ladies and gentlemen, it goes without saying, I am absolutely thrilled to introduce our guest speaker today. It is my special honor to welcome him, Jerry Boler, who is Vice President of Boyd Sports, LLC. That means the Knoxville Smokies, the Johnson City Doughboys, the Greenville Flyboys, the Elizabethton River Riders, and, ladies and gentlemen, the Kingsport Axemen. He received his bachelor's degree in business administration from Gardner-Webb University in Bowling Springs, North Carolina, where I will tell you he excelled as a student leader. In fact, he was class president in both his junior and senior years, and he was also a member of the Student Government Association, where he was recognized as the outstanding SGA officer. Likewise, he's listed in Who's Who among U.S. colleges and universities, but he has also continued to serve for higher education as he was the vice president of the Gardner-Webb University Alumni Board of Directors. So it goes around, and he's giving back to the education that he received. Before joining the Smokies and the Boyd Sports, Jeremy spent 3 years as the general manager of the Forest City Owls in the Coastal Plains League. He also served as the corporate marketing manager for the Winston-Salem Dash and helped open BB&T Ballpark. Jeremy is currently in his 10th season with the Smokies and his 8th season as vice president for Boyd Sports. He previously served as assistant general manager and director of corporate sales. Jeremy has played a key role in the growth and direction of Boyd Sports. He is a North Carolina native, and he resides in Knoxville, Tennessee, with his wife, Adrian, his daughters, Bren and Ava, and his son, Miles. Kiwanians, please welcome him at this time.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. That was a good deep dive there. I appreciate that. I haven't heard some of those things in a while. So, how's everybody doing today? Good. Well, I'm excited to be here today. Again, my name is Jeremy Boler, and I'm the Vice President of Boyd Sports, and which means your Kingsport Axemen. So, when it comes to the Appalachian League, which I'm going to talk a lot about today, I have to wear many hats. And Mackenzie, forgive me for this too. I can never have a favorite because they all play each other for the championship. So I just have to root for wherever the home game is that night, who the home team is, and what polo to wear. We're in the All-Star game polo here from a couple years ago. So basically, I'll kind of dive into myself and then Boyd Sports, Randy and Jenny Boyd, our owners and our ownership group, and then going into how we've adapted into from minor league baseball to where the Appalachian League is today, not just for Kingsport, but the entire region of East Tennessee here, and how we have, I think, a long-term plan in place with us with Major League Baseball to continue everything that's going on. So basically, so I oversee all 6 of our teams. Most folks, and I say this in Knoxville all the time too, especially folks there, and I feel like, as Mackenzie and I were just talking about when we were eating lunch here, I feel like in the Tri-Cities, Randy and Jenny Boyd, our owners, are very known for what we're doing from the baseball side of things and education, because our owner, Randy, is the president of the University of Tennessee system for all the UT campuses. So he's very, very big into education, dogs, and baseball. That's how he's from being UT president and starting Pet Safe and radio systems and owning Boyd Sports. So those are his big 3 and giving back to the community. And in our situation, too, giving back to the baseball and saving a number of teams that were going to be going away a couple of years ago. So Randy and Jenny are phenomenal owners. They're great to work for. They are very hands-off. They allow myself and our team to really, our management team, to find what we need to do to be successful. And if we need something, aka if we need some capital money or we need equipment or we need something, usually we can just send them a text message or an email or a call and ask them, do you agree with this? Here's a long-term solution. And usually it's a quick yes, typically. So, but a lot of folks don't know that Boyd Sports owns 6 baseball teams. As of 4 months ago, it was only 5. So we are now the new proud owners of the Bristol State Liners of Bristol, Tennessee, because they were in Virginia, and we're working with the city of Bristol, Tennessee on building a brand new stadium in downtown Bristol, Tennessee. So hopefully that'll be open next year, worst case 2027 baseball season. So we've acquired them, but this year they are going to be playing in Johnson City just for housing for the way the schedule worked out and housing at ETSU, the players will live there. So our poor Johnson City staff gets 2 teams to work with this year. But so we own 6 baseball teams. A lot of folks up here know that. They know Boyd Sports is involved in a lot of teams. But down in Knoxville, no one has a clue. Everyone just thinks the Smokies. And so with that being said, we just built a $123 million and rising stadium in downtown Knoxville. With everything keeps going up. And when you build it, you move in, you realize you need more, you need this, you need that. And then we're continuing every day. There's contractors still coming in doing some touch-up work or fixing things or adding things to the ballpark for the players, for us, for fans, or technology, whatever it may be. So if anybody hasn't had a chance to come down to Knoxville and see the brand new stadium, I hope that you do. There is plenty of parking. We have a lot of parking around there, and we have a lot of other systems in place to get folks to the ballpark. But it's a beautiful ballpark, and that's been our flagship. So like I told Mackenzie today too, I normally, with my job, I usually travel to the Tri-Cities at least once a week, once every 2 weeks in a normal life. But right now with the new stadium, that has taken every hour of my day, pretty much. But now that the Smokies are off and running, the train is driving and it's down the track. So now I can refocus on our other teams we have and the other businesses that we have too going into this. So I want to kind of backtrack a few minutes while we have time and give me my 10-minute warnings in a little bit. That way I'll talk all day. So you just got to stop me. But I want to go through a couple things. I spoke to this club, I believe, in 2021 about, at that time, the transition from we're still the Appalachian League, but we are a different setup than what it was with the Kingsport Mets. And some folks remember that, and some folks don't know, or maybe some folks still don't know that there's been a change. But basically, the Kingsport Mets were owned and operated by the New York Mets. So the players were paid by them. That was their team. And that was the way a lot of the teams in the Appalachian League were all operated by. It started in 2016 with us when we acquired the Johnson City Cardinals. At that time, they were run by a nonprofit. That ballpark needed a lot of capital to bring it up to Major League Baseball standards. And to be quite frank, the Cardinals standards. At that time, it was Greenville and Kingsport that had the nicest ballpark in our region. And the Cardinals were threatening to leave Johnson City. So I'm kind of giving you a backstory how we came into play here, and I think how we're helping the league long term. So the Cardinals were threatening to leave Johnson City, and I happened to know the general manager as a personal friend of mine at the time. We started talking, and then that's where it just morphed into, Randy, here's a baseball team in Tennessee, professional baseball team in Tennessee, that is literally 6 months away from losing its team forever. Because the way minor league baseball at that time worked, you got your county as a territorial right, as your business, your county, and every county that touched. So like in Sevier County, where the Smokies used to be, that covered every county that touched Sevier County. So obviously up here, these were grandfathered in because the Appalachian League's over 100 years old. And the teams that have been here, everything's been grandfathered in. But if a team were to leave, then no team could ever go back to that market because the new rules would kick in. So Randy had we got with Randy and he said, yes, let's save baseball, let's keep. He's a big Cubs fan. He's like, anybody but the Cardinals, but it's baseball in Tennessee, let's do it. How much you need, what do we need to do? And then so we came into it, we kind of did it in phases, a lot of renovations over time. But the first improvement was going literally to the president of the St. Louis Cardinals who flew into town when we were there to meet with us. That gentleman always did a trip in the Tri-Cities every year, about a week, see the team. And we asked him, what do you want? What do you need? I guess what's your needs and wants first. Start with the needs and then we'll get into the wants. And then that's when it morphed into a lot of the player amenities and then morphed into the fan amenities on our end to get folks to the ballpark. And then so we went with 2 years and then so we started growing. We're getting ourselves as a company used to the Appalachian League and what it entails. And then in 2018, and this right here was the start of where the minor league's downfall came. Minor league baseball, where the contraction came in 2021, where 42 baseball teams nationwide were cut, started in Greenville, Tennessee. That is where it started in 2018. That was where the first tremor of the earthquake happened, and no one knew it at the time. So the Astros, if y'all remember, left Pioneer Park literally like the Baltimore Colts did in the middle of the night. As the moving truck left, they sent out a press release that they were no longer coming. It was the same day the truck was leaving, the press release went out. And then we got involved because Mr. Boyd and Mr. Neiswanger do know each other through Tennessee and their business ties. So they had a conversation, and then we got a chance to go over there, kind of a later notice, but we got a chance to go over there and become that operator of that time with the Greenville Reds, because the Reds came in to fill the void and be a team in the league. There was actually a waiting list of major league teams. The Cubs were on that waiting list too to get into the league. So there is a lot of, I would say, a lot of want to be in this league. There's a real purpose for it, and that's where it's morphed into where we are today. So then we got into the Greenville Reds, and the very next year, the same situation was happening with Elizabethton, with the Minnesota Twins that was going on in Johnson City. They were threatening to leave because that ballpark literally hadn't changed since 1976 when they arrived. And the game has changed so much. At that point, we were rookie baseball. Those rookies were making $15 million a year, some of them. So these aren't just your regular baseball players anymore. Some of these are top prospects that they have a lot of money invested in. Where they might make a $15 million salary, but they got a $10 million signing bonus. And they want that guy. A lot of times they were skipping the Appalachian League just to send them to a better facility. And then that's when teams started questioning, well, why do we even have this stuff? If we're shipping our best players to single A right away, why do we have the rookie ball level? And that's where things started. But then we got a chance to go into and help save Elizabethton too, where we came in with some financial commitments and working with the Twins, because it was run by the city of Elizabethton at the time. And they were relieved as well, because that just put a lot of taxing time on their park and recreation department and their staff that was actually doing their day job and running a baseball team as well. And at that time, the things are changing. Players are changing. You got Division II and Division I baseball team stadiums that are nicer than now, quote unquote, professional stadiums. And that was starting to be calls from Major League Baseball, not just to the Appalachian League, but to other markets as well that no longer have baseball or have baseball but have done major renovations, to where, hey, you got guys we're getting from the University of Tennessee, University of Vanderbilt, or UCLA, and then we're shipping them to places to where their park where they came from was nicer. So what it's done is pushing everyone to upgrade their facilities. So facilities is where everything started. And then 2020 came, and it just so happened to be when COVID was around, but that was the last year of minor league baseball's contract with Major League Baseball. So we kind of had I call it a buffer governing body who represented us to Major League Baseball. So then once the contract ran out, Major League Baseball literally ran out the clock. And that entity disappeared of minor league baseball, which we are still minor league baseball, but we are run through Major League Baseball. So we just took out the middleman. So even at the Smokies now, we work, like we own our teams, we operate our own teams, where each 6 of our teams are independent businesses of each other under the Boyd Hospitality Group as a whole, Boyd Sports Group as a whole. But each team operates independently, but we work with Major League Baseball daily and directly, which actually is very nice. We can just get a direct answer. What do you want us to do? What's your recommendations? Here's our situation here and here. What would you like us to do? It's easier to just get a yes or a no from them instead of beating around the bush and going around. What do you want us to do? So they've been very, very helpful. I will give them a ton of credit. They have been very open-minded to the Appalachian League, to the Smokies, to all different leagues at levels across the country. So where that comes into play, and I really like to say Boyd Sports played a really big part of how the Appalachian League is shaping today. Ironically, at that time, we owned 4 teams. We run 4 teams, and Kingsport was the last team, but it was owned at that time by the Kingsport Mets. So I've given you the background. So the Mets left with that as well, along with their staff members that were employees of the Mets. And then we got a chance to come along with visit Kingsport and Frank Lett and them for an opportunity to come run this team. And we took over in 2021, and it's been great. On our end, it's been phenomenal. So the Hunter Wright Stadium is great. We got a new turf field now too, which is great for rain situations like today. We have a much better chance of playing now than we did before. Especially with a small staff, turf fields are a blessing because we don't have a lot of people to pull the tarp and fix the field. So it's a big deal. So we've got a chance to do that now. So that's where everything came into play. But we worked with Major League Baseball along with some other owners in our league to say, listen, this is our business at the same time. We have employees. Mr. Boyd has spent millions of dollars at this time on renovations to these ballparks that right now don't have a team. So then my job's in jeopardy because I can't just go from overseeing a number up to one. So it becomes a personal interest. What do we got to do to save our league, save our teams, and to show Randy, this is still a viable investment. And then so we're working with Major League Baseball directly, and we had the idea, along with some other folks too, as a group effort. Why don't we go the summer collegiate route? They cut rookie ball, which is basically the same age group. A lot of these guys at rookie ball were college graduates, or they were the kids out of high school that they gave a couple $100,000 to really try to not get them to go to college, but to go pro, or the 18, 19-year-old kids from the Dominican Republic or Venezuela that they were getting out of those academies that all these teams have over in these countries. So that's when it came up to be, you know what, you're right. Major League Baseball contracted all these minor league teams really because at that time, too, minor league baseball players were forming a union. And so they would rather negotiate with less people than a lot of people. So that's why each affiliate now only has 4 of your teams. You got AAA, AA, High A, and Low A. And then everything below that was cut. But there was 3 levels that were all cut. So this fills a void. So we have a new hierarchy. So all the players that are coming to Kingsport, let's talk about them now. So all the players that are coming to Kingsport, we got a kid from University of Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, UCLA. I believe, I don't have the entire roster right here, but we got a lot of some local kids, regional kids, but overall, really good baseball players. All of these players have personally been invited by Major League Baseball via an anonymous scout that they are in their system. They've been tracking them through high school, through whatever grade they are, freshman through junior of college at this point, and they want them to be seen in the Major League Baseball League, which is now the Appalachian League. So the Appalachian League, through this process, is now owned, like the league, not the teams. The league is owned by Major League Baseball. We have Major League Baseball's financial backing as well. So Major League Baseball pays for the players because it's really important to them. These are the best in the country. They're that 1 and 2 tier top college player. So they're going to pay for their housing. They live at the Meadowview, by the way. Kingsport every year has the #1 requests for players to play here. I think it's a lot of great ballpark, great everything, but the housing. The Meadowview is a great place to be. So they live at the Meadowview. MLB takes care of that. They take care of the bus travel because they want a minor league professional experience with these guys. And don't feel too bad for them. They are taken care of. They get a full spread dinner every night. They get a pregame. They have a clubhouse manager who washes their laundry, does everything, cleans their shoes. So for all the players that come from Tennessee and Vanderbilt, this is just like home. So a lot of the smaller school guys, like Walter State, there's a phenomenal baseball players at Walter State. They are right now. They're in the College World Series in Grand Junction for them, and they get a lot of players that transfer to UT and Vanderbilt and other universities too. There's quite a few Walter State players that are coming into our league. So this is going to be a major upgrade from the facilities they play at. But overall, it's a big deal now with the transfer portal. So that's a lot of these players, especially from JUCO schools, that have great programs for whatever reason, maybe in grades, or they didn't want to commit somewhere for 4 years. They may want to go to JUCO. But now with the transfer portal, this is the league everybody wants to be in. So what MLB is doing is now called the MLB pipeline, is what's been formed because of this. And with this, the Appalachian League, I strongly believe, has helped save other teams. So MLB, because of this, started another league called the MLB Draft League, which is up in New England. And that's where it was another rookie ball league, basically, that was also cut. It's had different MLB teams in it. But so basically now there's a hierarchy. So the Appalachian League, which MLB is funding, they have 2 people full-time. They have a director and then a scouting director. All they do every day is look at players. They call college coaches. They try to find out who's the best pitchers you got, who's the incoming freshman. Do you got any really top high school player that you have committed that honestly could be playing at a really high level right now that you want to see play before he shows up on campus in August? So they are going after those top caliber players as well who are coming into the college realm because theoretically they are draft eligible. So they're going ahead and looking at them now. So they're going to look at a lot of these kids from the freshman to that sophomore, junior range, but most of that freshman, sophomore is that core they really want. And then if they do well enough here, they're going to be moved on to the Cape Cod League, which is now the next tier, which the Cape Cod League's also been around for, I want to say 8,500 years, something like that too. It's up in New England, and it's a summer collegiate league as well, but it's a strictly nonprofit style run league. But it's one of those where they'll play at high school fields, but they're all so closer than what we are. So like scouts can literally like hover there and see all these players. So it's just a lot of history. So they are pretty much exclusive juniors in college. So that's where a lot of those players are going. And then after that is the next level MLB created with the other teams that were contracted, which are up in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and so forth, called the MLB Draft League, which are graduating seniors who maybe their agent hasn't convinced them to sit this summer out for the draft. But now that the draft has been pushed back to the latter part of June, it helps. So now the draft league is all these graduating seniors. They want one more shot. They want to up their draft status. Maybe they had an okay springtime. They want to up their draft status. So now they're going to the MLB Draft League, which you also have to be invited to. They have their own personnel department that go out and find these players, which all come from the 30 major league clubs who guys have listed names they want to see. And they have to do that anonymously, of course. So they can't say, hey, the Red Sox really want to see you. So they'll do it anonymously, and these guys will go out and say, hey, you've been asked to come play in the Appalachian League or the Draft League on behalf of an anonymous MLB team. So they have that league, and then the draft will come, and then these guys get drafted. And this past year, we had our first Appalachian League in this format guy from Elizabethton make it to the pros. He made a debut. So every year right now, more and more of these guys are getting called up. There's quite a few in AAA. The Smokies have a guy in AA who played in Bluefield as a first baseman. He's been here 2 years now. So they're getting higher and higher and higher. And that's what MLB likes. They want to see that it's an investment on their end. They want to make sure that they're seeing a return on their investment. And so that's where we come into play. So we want to make sure the players, whether it's Kingsport, Johnson City, wherever it is, they have all the tools they need locally. They have housing, good housing. They have the bus travel. They have a good food. They have everything that we can control and provide. And Major League Baseball hires all the coaches, the training staff. They treat it like they would a minor league team. So a lot of our coaches are ex-Major League Baseball coaches, like Mr. Rick Adair, who was a coach here last year. He's also returning as our manager. He was with the Baltimore Orioles for a number of years. Quite a few, I would say 80% of the coaches in the league are former Major League Baseball or minor league baseball managers or coaches, which is really cool. That gets that experience. College coaches like that too, because they don't want to feel like you got college coaches who want a summer job that could now with the transfer portal could try to get kids to transfer to their school. So they do like that. But the way Major League Baseball likes it is this is a transition from college to a pro. This is a pro-style league, which is what if you go talk to a lot of the guys, they're going to get that. Most colleges really don't have a clubhouse manager unless you're at UT or Vanderbilt or someone like that. But a lot of the smaller schools or even smaller D1 schools don't have that. So then now they have that. They're getting like all these post-game meals. They're getting all the uniforms. MLB is inundating these guys with equipment from all their MLB sponsors. They got a lot of good stuff. So they're here to learn. They're here to play. And one thing, too, this league is run just like the Mets and the former minor league teams were. Bear with the kids. And I say this, if I was in Knoxville right now, I would say the same thing about the Smokies players. If you see a pitcher out there struggling, they're probably going to keep him out there. That's the whole point. He has to learn how to get out of these innings, how to get better. Because if you yank him real quick, he's not going to learn. Now, if he gets 2 more home runs hit off him, okay, he's had his chance. He learned what not to do tonight. Or if you get a first baseman who can't hit the broadside of a barn, he sees 6 games and a bunch of strikeouts, well, he's going to start a 7th game because he's not going to know until he gets better. He's got to get out of a slump. But they have a big rotation on guys. Guys have to take a day off. They have to be able to be in uniform, but a day off on the infield and pitchers, obviously. So they have a really good rotation. They treat it like minor league baseball, but it is a learning league. And MLB has invested a lot of money in technology in our league. I think it's probably over data, but if you come out to the ballpark right now, you're probably going to see about 18 cameras. And there is one poor intern for each team that has to, every night, it's a night job, they got to go dissect all those videos of every angle of every player, of every pitch. And then they have a film session with the guys. The pitching coach will pull over with the pitcher, whoever started last night. Hey, look, it's kind of like football. Let's watch last night's tape. Here's where you did great. Here's what you need to work on. And the hitting coach will do the same thing with the hitters. But someone at night, about 3 hours worth of work after every game, that kid's got to go out and do all that video work. So it's a lot. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of data because they want these kids to get better. They have a financial commitment for these kids to get better. Not everyone's going to make it, but a lot of them will make it and get drafted. And that's what they want to see. So Boyd Sports and the Appalachian League is growing. So we're working with Bristol now as well. They're going to play in Johnson City this year. But Pat, you're going to like this too. We are on the verge right now of signing another long-term, 5-year, probably longer extension with Major League Baseball to continue the Appalachian League. Because when it started, it was only a couple years, and they did like a 1-year extension. They wanted to see how it went. Things have gone really well. I mean, we want to take care of the players. We want to make sure we take care of our fans, have a good experience, and basically they have had return on investment. They're seeing players drafted at a high status, and players performing. So they are committed now to spending more money locally here in Kingsport, the Tri-Cities, and potentially even talk about adding an expansion teams down the road. Because I think there's more players out there they want to get in the league. And with that, you need more roster spots. So that's a good thing. And that's something once it's officially inked, it'll probably be August or September before we get all the details ironed out of how it's going to work with our new extension. But it's going to be a great thing. The MLB is still going to cover a lot of the housing, a lot of the meals, and the bus travel, which is all spent here locally, which is great. So we're growing. The league is not going anywhere. The Kingsport Axemen are not going anywhere. And opening day is a week from Monday. So I hope to see all of you out there at the ballpark and cheer on the team, whether win or lose. That's one thing I'd say about baseball. No matter what, unlike football or basketball, yes, we want to win. We want rings. We want a championship. But at the end of the day, kind of like right now, we can't control the weather, and we can't control the players. I can't control who's starting on first base tonight. That's not what I get paid for. That's what they get paid for. I can't control who's going to pitch tonight or how well they're going to do. We can control if the hot dog's good, is the music just right, did you have a friendly face greet you at the ballpark at the entrance? Are you having a good experience? Did the kids get a foul ball? Did they get an autograph? Those are the fun things we get to control. So that's what we want to control and have a good time. And hopefully it's a 2-hour and 30-minute game. Because some of these games now can go a long way, especially some of these kids, they do a lot of pitching changes. But I don't know if anybody noticed, we've also installed the pitch clock at this level now. So the pitch clock is all the way from colleges now to the Appalachian League, all the way to Major League Baseball now. So the pitch clock is in full effect, which is a great thing because it can really, some of these games can take a long time, especially in developmental leagues like this. It can take a while. A lot of balls, a lot of strikes, a lot of scoring, but it's really helped a lot. And it's helping these kids get ready for the minor leagues because they're going to play at the minor league level pitch clock rules, not the college. And we're playing with a lot of minor league baseball rules too, like we're playing with the minor league baseball. People don't realize the difference between a professional baseball and a college baseball. So that is a big difference for pitchers. That's why we have 3 days of practice. When the team gets here, they got 3 days of practice. They got to get used. It's not a ginormous difference, but it's a difference. They need to get used to it, especially on sliders and certain pitches. They got to play with it, and how the ball's rubbed, and how the seams are made is very different. So if you see a lot of wild pitches in the very beginning, that's okay. Bear with them. They're working through that. But there's a big difference. So they're playing with a lot of Major League Baseball rules, wood bats too. I don't know if a lot of folks know that. It's a wood bat league because in college, obviously, it's metal or metal composite bats. Here, a home run that might be in college is now a routine pop-up in left field. So these kids have to learn how to play with that wooden bat. It swings different. It plays different, especially on the infield too. And obviously, we all love the crack of the bat and the pop compared to the bing. But that is a big difference. They break a lot of bats, and that stuff they have to get used to too until they get sponsored by whoever in the future and they get free bats. There's a lot of unique things that go on. And for us, so the things we can't control, promotions. We got Princess Night. We got Autism Awareness Night. We got, 4 or 5 fireworks shows. So group outings like yourself, Eastman Chemical, or Eastman's coming out. There's a bunch of groups. People just want to come have fun. We are in the family affordable fun industry. And it's just good summer entertainment. There's a lot of communities out there in the Midwest and California that lost baseball that's never going back back in 2021. So we're fortunate. I'm fortunate to keep doing what I'm doing. We're all fortunate. Everything has worked out great, and Major League Baseball finds a really big value in this. And I can say this with 1,000% confidence. The Bristol Motor Speedway game with the Braves versus the Reds would not ever have happened if the Appalachian League didn't exist. That was never on Major League Baseball's radar at all until they came here. Dan Halem, who's basically Rob Manfred, who's the commissioner. Dan Halem's the deputy commissioner. He's been here twice. Loves the Appy League. He calls it, love the Appy Leagues from New York City. Loves the Appy League. We love you guys. We love what you're doing. Talk to me about this. What's going on over here? So they love it, and they would never have done this if they never would have even thought about the Speedway if it hadn't been for this league and the teams here. So we have a tremendous value to them, and it's really, really exciting to work with them and know what we got. So for us, moving forward, the Axemen are your local team. We hope you come out and support us, no matter who we're playing, no matter how bad or good the team's doing. We do have a championship the last couple of years. We got one ring here. I think, judging by what I see on paper, the team looks really good. Now, one thing to keep in mind for those of you who will come and really pay attention to some of this stuff, it's just like minor league baseball. The teams will rotate. I would say 30% of our roster has already flipped from the initial one we released already. That's why we always kind of wait till later to kind of get more of an accurate roster. With the name, image, and likeness NIL rules now too, it has changed so much. And that's one thing in our league meetings, which we hosted at Knoxville at the new ballpark this year with Major League Baseball and the Appalachian League guys, basically saying we have agents calling now, saying, okay, if my guy's going to play in your league, he needs X, Y, and Z. And half the time they're telling them, no, go play in some other league the MLB owns. Or it's okay, we can't make that happen. We can put you on this team to work with that coach. Oh, you know that coach from X, Y, and Z? We'll put him over there. Or you're from Virginia? Well, the nearest team over there is Pulaski. We'll put you near home. So there's a lot of agents calling now on behalf of their college players, which is something that's never happened before. And it's harder and harder to get some of these guys to commit because there's always someone chirping in their ear, hey, you had a great year. Just take the summer off. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. Or hold out and let them call you later. When they need you, they'll call you. So it's unique. So you're going to see a lot more guys coming later. And then the better they're doing. So a lot, like let's take UT, for example. Hopefully they have a game today in the rain. If they win today, the further and further they go, the harder it's going to be for those guys to continue to show up. Not just to us, the Cape Cod League, anybody. Especially if they're an everyday starter, the coaches will probably say, take the summer off. You probably need it. Unless it's a freshman. Say, I'll use UT as a great example. There's a lot of freshmen on that are never seeing the field there. They could start for any other team out there probably. That's how deep they are. And I know the league, I think, has 16 or 17 UT players as a whole. And it's kind of based on maybe where their home is. They try to put them closer or a certain coaching background. But there's a lot of UT kids that are going to come. But the further they go out, the riskier that chance is. Unless they're true freshmen that are not playing, that are really good but aren't playing, they're still going to come. So that's all the baseball junk I can give you there. If you need more, I can answer any questions on that. But overall, we're your team. We're looking forward to being here for a long time, and we're looking forward to continue to work with the city and visit Kingsport on adding more and more improvements to Hunter Wright Stadium as well. So we obviously have a great partnership with the city. We have a new turf field. If you haven't seen it, it is beautiful, phenomenal. And we're going to get a lot more games played because of that, too. And that's what Major League Baseball also is looking for because it's hard to get kids better if you can't play baseball. And I would say that what they said was the other day, I think it's like 62% of these kids now are playing on a turf field in college. So we're just catching up to them now. And even like the Diamondbacks, the Miami Marlins, they have turf fields. They might have a dirt infield, but the rest of the field's turf. So it's becoming more and more natural now. So these kids have been playing on it since they were in wee ball now in these complexes. So it's so we're right up there with them, and we're excited to get more games in and keep playing. So what kind of questions has anybody got for you? Oh, we got